Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a beautiful holiday. My name is Christy Denny's. I'll be your Miami instructor this morning. Welcome to your class, Matrix 101. We do have a special sponsor and a speaker with us today. Her name is Tammy, and we're going to be speaking about South Florida Virtual Tour. All right, guys. So aside from having a fantastic speaker this morning, and another great resource for you, we do have Connie Nieto that's going to be available in the chat. She is a Miami instructor, and she has shared with you guys some great links that you can use. These are great resources for you. The trainers are available to you. Consider us a resource. Our email is trainers@miamire.com. We have shared with you a YouTube channel. So that means if you have never taken the Matrix series before, it is available for you, all 5 classes recorded and available on our YouTube channel. We also have available on your dashboard, Miami Realtor Live, as well as our social media content. You can, of course, always follow us. Anything we post is available for you to repost. It's also great insight into what's happening in your market. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's log in, miamirealtors.com. You want to scroll to the middle of the page to access your Miami Gateway and log in. If you've never logged in before, not even once, then your username should be your license number and your password will also be your license number. And aside from that, the system will prompt you to go ahead and update that password. I also wanted to show you that you do have an MLS resource, right? So right here on miamirealtors.com, you have this MLS tab that's available for you. Consider this the one-stop shop for all of your MLS resources, right? So here you do have your rules and regulations. I always like to point this out whenever you are using the Matrix system. You want to be available. You want to be aware of these. You also have the right resources right now that are available. So anything having to do with best practices regarding showings and virtual, anything regarding virtual is better said. So anything regarding virtual, the right resources is a great place to start. You do have a list of upcoming MLS classes. You also have MLS forms and applications that are available for you. Some good ones are written permission to advertise, as well as the unlicensed assistant application is also here. Towards your left-hand side, some great ones to click on are going to be your new MLS rules and fines. This is something you want to look at, as well as your top 10 MLS violations and issues. Scrolling down, you have hot topics regarding the MLS. And as I continue to scroll down, you do have tutorials and information, including our MLS coverage map. So if you're not aware of the area that you cover as a member with the Miami Association of Realtors, we do have 2 data shared partners, and we have access and listings with St. Lucie, Martin, Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami. Moving back out, I did also want to continue to scroll down and show you that you do have a help and tech support line with the MLS. That's 888-825-5472. You also have it available in Spanish. They're available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 8:30 p.m., as well on the weekends till 3 p.m. On the right-hand side, you can also find MLS Input Forms. What are MLS Input Forms? Whenever you're going to input a new listing, right, that you're going to put on the market, it does have its own form that you can review. You'll have all of the information that you will need to successfully input that document into the MLS, and they're available here. Every property type has its individual form. We also cover this page and much more in great detail in Matrix 501. So please take that. That's called Matrix Getting Out of Trouble or Staying Out of Trouble. And we also do cover inputting a new listing in Matrix 401. So hopefully we are all logged in and inside of our Miami Gateway. You do have your Miami Realtors Live channel here. This is where I wanted to show you where you can access all of your recorded classes. And we're going to focus on Matrix. This is the system that we're going to be talking about today. And I did also want to show you that Matrix has its own Matrix Learning Lab. So if I click on it, this is available. You should have access to it simply by clicking on that icon. And you're going to have access to great information regarding learning Matrix. So as I scroll down, You'll have a leadership board. As you go through the material, you'll receive different badges. So it'll make sure that you are up to date with everything you need to know regarding Matrix. You'll have what you're currently working on and what you've already completed. They're all very short tutorials. And you also have featured content. So featured content is anything that they are believing would be your next best tutorial that you should take. And as you continue to scroll down, you can find where you can get started. And it's going to break down that information into little chunks. And you'll have info regarding Matrix, which is the system that we're using right now. OneHome, which is your customer portal. And we also have your Matrix 360, which is another way that you can complete a CMA. We do go over the CMA in Matrix 301. Moving out of our learning dashboard and into Matrix. This is our Matrix icon. You want to click here. In Matrix 101, we really focus on setting you up for success, making sure that you receive notifications of what's going on inside of the client portal, setting up that branding on any reports or future reports that you're going to be creating, that branding on your customer portal, and then showing you how to search for listings as well as sending out that property. So we're going to go over what you initially have on screen. You do have a floating bar up at the top under My Matrix. This is all things associated to you and your business inside of Matrix. You have your dashboard. That's what you're currently looking at. This is your home page. You also have a summary. So if I click on your summary, you're going to have access to your contacts, your listings, and your settings. Under Matrix, you can also find any automated emails that you've ever created, saved searches that you can go back to, emails that you have sent your customers, and any CMAs that you have created for your customers, as well as the listings that you're managing. Carts are available as well. Think of carts as folders where you are carting different specific properties. When you are saving searches, you're saving criteria to receive new property based on what it is that your customer is looking for. And then you have Home Visit, which is available. This is another marketing tool. So if you want a one-stop shop regarding marketing, Home Visit is a CoreLogix option. If I click on Dashboard, I'm going to go back to my main page. You have your search. This is normally your first step when you begin to search for property for a customer. You want to get familiar with the type of properties that you can search for. You do have that RE1, RE2. This is your single family properties. These are your condos, your villas are in here, your apartments, etc. You also have your residential income. These are going to be your duplexes, your triplexes, your fourplexes are going to be here. You have residential land, boat, and docks. You have your rentals, which are separated. They're here. You also have searching for lands. Commercial, business, agricultural, and industrial can be found here. We have commercial improved, right? So this is commercial and industrial, and that means it's land plus whatever property is on there. So think of a gas station, a beauty salon, an office space. You also have your business opportunities and you have your cross property. The cross property is available to search the MLS when you want to search more than one type of property, right? So if you want to search all of the different properties in one, the cross property is a great option to do that. So you can have like an idea of the land. And this is great for an investor. You have your open houses where you can search for any upcoming open houses, public records, and you can search other MLSs if you have a customer who's interested in searching in another, right, in another area that we don't cover in our initial MLS because we have shared partners. You can search for an agent. You can also search for an office. And then under more, you have access to search for property history. Moving back into my dashboard, we have our stats that we cover inside of Matrix 301. These are different statistics that we show you. Realist and IMAP are your tax services. These are your real estate links that are available. You have finance calculators that are here and financing information. You also have access to a seller's estimated net proceed, which will give them the idea of what it is that they're going to be making once they sell that property. And then you have your buyer's closing costs, which is an estimated report of how much they're expected to to have at the closing table. So yes, please always reference your real estate company, your broker, your manager, a title company, and a lender are all good options to help you fill these out. You have your add edit. This is step one when you want to add a new listing. And we do go over that in Matrix 401. And then you have your market reports, more statistics that you can make based on your own production that we do go over in a stats class. We do have notifications, which I'll show you. And then we can access additional settings that we're going to talk about. You do have a quick search bar. You can enter shorthand or an MLS number to find a property initially from your home page. You have news and alerts that you want to be aware of. This is any new postings or activity from the association. You can find it here. Also, if you do have a pop-up and you close it out, you'll find it under news and alerts. These widgets are customizable. Each one of them is going to have an arrow and an X. The arrow will minimize it when you click on it, and then the X will go ahead and remove it. Nothing is ever lost on your dashboard. They're all going to be able to find them under a widget called additional. So as you customize it and you remove some stuff off your page, always find additional with the plus sign where you're going to find what you just hid. You can always click and pull it right out. And once you click and pull it out, you can go ahead and simply drag it and reposition it wherever you'd like. So you can minimize, maximize, hide, and then customize where it is that you'd want it to be located simply by clicking and dragging your widgets. So make this page your own. Moving along, let's go into our settings. So clicking on that drop-down arrow by your name is going to give you access to an additional menu where you can have access to your settings, a help section. So let's click on help just in case you want to come back. And you do have your data input forms. So clicking on these data input forms will give you access to those forms on the main page or on our website, but you do have your status change forms. This is an example of an RE1. Let me show you. So as I click on it, you're going to see all of the red. We're also going to see that it is 11 pages, and it's all of the fields that you'll need to fill out when you are inputting a new listing. This is a great tool for you. It is something that you can print out or have on hand when you're doing a walkthrough for your initial meeting with a customer. Fill out all of the details that you need in order to input a new listing. We also go over this in 401. We also teach you how to automatically move the tax roll information into the system. So it fills out a lot of these mandatory fields for you. But I wanted to show you where these are located and how you can use them. Aside from this, another great tool that you can use with this page is the Control F feature in order for you to find different fields and how to search for some of the requirements that your customer is looking for. So for example, if you are interested in finding property with a fence, you can click on your keyboard Control F. I believe in the Apple, I don't have an Apple, but maybe Connie can fill us in, is I think Command F. But you open up a search field and you can input the word fence, and then it'll let you know that the word fence is available twice on this document, and it'll highlight where that fence option is located. So are you looking for a fence around a pool? If that's not it, then click enter. You're actually looking around for a fence that has or is part of an exterior feature. So now you know when you search Matrix, you have to search under exterior features to find that fence. So just a tip to make your search lives easier. So moving away from our input forms, you do have training guides, what's new in Matrix X, and you also have video tutorials that are available. Matrix support is here. You have your number that you can find under support, and you also have a chat under CoreLogic's answer link. You have additional articles regarding searching, the speed bar, and emailing. You can find additional details regarding CMA and reverse prospecting as well. You also have your mobile matrix that you can use, open houses and how to input them, information regarding realist, area maps, as well as city codes and municipality codes. So I just wanted to show you this, where you can find it. You don't have to remember exactly, word for word, but you do want to be able to know where you can go to find those details. Moving up into my matrix, I'm going to go back into our name, that drop down arrow. We went over our help section. I did want to show you your mobile view. If I click on mobile, that's going to give you the address. You can always take this address, copy it onto your home page on your phone, and you can use this option as a matrix option or a mobile view on your phone. It does not have currently a actual mobile application, but Remind Mobile is a good option. To go back to the full site, click on full site. Clicking on that drop down arrow, we're going to move into our settings. So I'm going to click on settings, and we're going to work on my information initially, and then we're going to talk about these portal notification settings. So I'm going to click on my information, and this is where we're going to do all of our branding. Under information, you want to just verify that your information is correct, including your name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. You want to take a look at your broker's information as well. Make sure that that's all correct, because that's information pulled from your application. If anything is wrong, click or send an email to membership@miamire.com. Let them know what they need to update, whether that's your name or your phone number, and they'll go ahead and update Matrix as well as all of the different programs inside of your Miami Gateway. So aside from that, you can do some overriding. So you do have some override options on your right-hand side, where it is that you can customize. So you can add your nickname, your middle name. If you belong to a team, you can add one here. Go ahead and input team trainer. You also have the ability to give your title, right? So I would use either realtor or realtor associate. Scrolling down, you can also input a fax number, a pager number, or a direct office contact. And I continue to scroll down, you can input a tagline, which you can use a little later. I'll show you. Additional information is open for anything you'd want to input there. I actually inputted a website, and then there is another additional area here where you can add a website address, and then you can input a suffix if you'd like. Moving back up, I did want to show you under full name to override this and add any certifications if you have any. This is a great place to do so. Moving into header and footer, this is some branding that we can do. When you're done, tap on save. And if you don't, the system will remind you. And then moving into header and footer, this is some branding that we can create. And this is going to display on any reports that you print. You can have this header displayed, right? And it's going to also use some of that information to create that footer as well. So to input the top banner, what we're going to do is we're going to select a different banner. When you click on it, you're going to select the one that you prefer. You do have a lot of options here. Just simply click on that radio button. Tap on preview on the bottom of your screen, and it's going to update that information. You're also going to want to input a photo and add your branding information and details. You have the option of no photo. This is what that looks like. We always recommend a photo. Just have your customers recognize you. Some people are face people, some people are name people. A headshot's always a good idea. Mine says change photo. Yours will probably say update. So click on here, and you want to go ahead and browse your computer, and you want to update and include that headshot. And as you include them, I do have about 3 that I've uploaded. I can switch from one to another, right, using those back arrows. Once you're done, simply tap on save and move on to the next section. Our branding information. You have these drop-down arrows that are going to sort through the information we just inputted under my information. So you're going to click on there and you're going to select your preferences. I've selected my full name with my certifications. I've also selected my title using the click down arrow, the name of my company, cell phone number, and email address. I've also chosen to use the theme defaults. And what that is the system is taking the colors in your image and it's applying it to your branding. If you want to select your own colors, you can click on use custom colors and the system will provide them for you. You can simply click and make those changes, right? Using this color wheel, select the color you prefer, the shading or the gradient, and then tap on done. Moving along. This is your print footer that's going to be at the end of all of your pages when you print out either listings or reports. So if they didn't capture information on the top, they have it towards the bottom. So you can choose whether you want one or not. I put yes. I think it looks very professional. And I did the same thing. So you want to input your name, title, and contact information that can include your email address and your phone number. Moving down, you can also change those colors and you'll have those available here towards the bottom, or simply use the theme defaults as I have. When you're done, you can tap on save and move on to the next section of branding. You have your CMA cover page. We go over the steps of creating a CMA inside of Matrix 301. So look inside the calendar if this is what you want to do. We help you build out that report in Matrix. You want to go into detail about why we pick specific properties and really do a deep dive into a CMA using multiple programs. And that can help you find the best program for you. Another great class is CMA Workshop, if you want to write that down. But this initially is the information used to create your first page of your cover sheet. So you want to verify that information, add any additional details that you'd like, including your nickname, middle name, etc. Then when you're done, simply tap on save. Moving into email signature, this is an area that I want you to take some time on because this is going to be branded onto those emails that you send out to your customer. And I want them to be able to see your branded information. So you want to input a headshot. You want to input your name and any certifications you've taken. You want to input your title, your cell phone number, and your email, your real estate company, if you have a slogan, and then you want to link maybe any social media to it so it's nice and full. I do want to show you how to create a live link. I also want to show you how to input a photo and how to tag your social media. If you don't have your social media set up as of yet, I believe the second week of December, we're going to be starting a 4-part series regarding social media. So let's get started. Let's remove my image. How you would add an image is to simply put your cursor wherever it is that you'd like to add it. So it can either be on top, it can be on the side. You would simply click on the image icon and what you've uploaded into the system, you'll have available here to choose from. You would click on it. You can go ahead and change the width and the height if you'd like. You also have the preview of how the text is going to look next to your image. And when you're done, you press OK. I like to put it on the top. Aside from that, you can bold, italicize, and strike through. You also have the option to paste your entire signature if you've already have it created. You also have the ability to link. So let's do that now. I've linked my email, so it's a nice live link where they can contact me. All you would have to do is input your email as usual. Then you want to select the email. You want to click on that link. You want to also verify that the URL is an email URL. And you want to re-input your email address. And then from here, just press the green button that says OK. And now it is a live link to your email address. Another one I want to show you is if you want to link your website, Instagram, Facebook, anything, we're going to do an example of a YouTube page, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the same manner, input the word YouTube and find the YouTube page. Once I do so, I'm going to go ahead and select the address.
Hello and welcome.
I'm going to move back into Matrix. I'm going to select YouTube. I'm going to go back into the linking tool, click on it, verify that the display text says YouTube. I am using a regular URL, and then I'm pasting it into the URL box and pressing OK. And now it's linked live. Aside from that, there is a R, the registration R with Realtor. You can find those under the horseshoe icon, and you can find that R if you want to add it as well. Okay. So just some tips. Tapping on save, and we can move out of our signature and into our agent website. If you don't have a website yet, you can go ahead and create one now. You can simply tap on enable, give your website and your URL a name. You can customize it. I've inputted Christy Denny's into mine, and this is going to be that address to access this web page, is better said. You also can give it a web page title. You can input that title for your first page of content, and then you're also able to input additional information. So you can input HTML if you are familiar with HTML and you've created something inside of Canva, or you've created something beautiful inside of, I'm trying to think, MailChimp, and you just want to use that HTML, you can always use this source code. You can add images, you can link, as we've done in our signature, you can add pictures, special characters, YouTube videos, and much more. You can also update that font if you'd like. I wrote additional words here, so they are available on my website. If you want to take a picture to have a base to work from, you can. And as I scroll down, I'll have additional information towards the bottom. So as I remove these details, I can always go back and input them. So the portal greeting, I won't. The photo, I will. My contact information as well. I'm going to pass on, no, I'll input the video as well. And then the inventory slideshow, which we'll talk about shortly. From here, you can always change the order using the move up and move down. And you can include an initial search map. So from here, you can decide whether you want to not specify anything at all, restrict a search to a very specific marked area. And this will make sense if maybe you only plan on working on the Coral Gables area, for example, and no other area. But we always suggest to specify an initial map view and then leave users free to search the outside area. You can always click on set map area for you to be able to just kind of sort that out. You can zoom in and move through the state to create that initial map area. All right, so let's say I'm comfortable here. You can always click on save or use a shape, right? So that when your customers have access to your webpage, they can start there. Scrolling down, you can include a sign up form, and this means they would have to fill out this form before they can access your initial website or web page. And then you have additional domain here. And what I see here is if you want to update the name of this web page. So if you wanted to say something like eduardosellsmiami.com, then you can go ahead and contact a provider like GoDaddy.com or Wix to be able to do this for you. And then they can go ahead and input those configurations. Once you're done, you tap on save. You also have the option to preview that. So you can scroll down and click on preview to see all of those details. Right, so these are some of the things that we've inputted. And then as I scroll up, I did want to show you that under find a property, your customer will have access to actually search this page, right, for property that they're interested in. A better place that your customer can search for property is going to be inside of their OneHome portal, which I'm going to show you how to set up shortly. Moving back up, we're going to tap into OneHome. So OneHome, this portal, some of this information that you fill out can be used and will appear under agent website. So when you're doing this at home or you're taking the time to set this up, do OneHome first and then go into your agent website. So right here, you want to input a headshot. So you want to go ahead and change this photo, go ahead and browse and update. So make sure that there's an image here. You're going to need it because that is your branding inside of your customer portal. Aside from that, as I scroll down, you want to make sure that all of your contact information is available. So your full name, your team name. Another great area that you could put here is any designations instead if you're not part of a team. Verify that your info is okay, and then add your social media handles. So you can add your Twitter link, your Facebook link, Instagram, all available to customize. And then you can also add in your license number so that your customers can verify that you are a licensed real estate agent. You also have your slogan that's automatically tied into your branding that we have available to input under our initial information. Your office info is going to be here. You can add your web page, right, that we just created under the agent web URL. You can add it if it was provided by your broker, if you have your own listing, your own website. Under profile content, be sure to input your information. So you want to input an initial message to your customer. This is the customer portal. So when you have a new customer, they're available here to input and read this message. It's also going to build out a website for you inside of the customer portal. As I scroll down, I went ahead and added a great YouTube video of a walkthrough within OneHome. So if my customer is that type of customer that likes direction and they want to just review everything OneHome before they jump into the portal, I have provided that for them. I'm going to share it with you just in case you want to add the same tutorial. And then when you're done, you want to go ahead and press save on all of those changes, and that will be available. Okay, so this is your OneHome portal. Our next stop inside of Matrix, now that we are customized, is I want to go ahead and take you into another customization, which is receiving notifications. Only because your customers can do so much inside of their portal. Let me show you. So under Matrix, you can find contacts. Under contacts, this should be step one. Whenever you're working with a customer, is to build your book of business, add your customers religiously. So every time that you have a new customer, you want to input that information immediately. Tap on add. From here, input their first name, their last name, their email address. Also, believe in your brain that it's not yellow, but you want to add some kind of contact information. So either the cell phone, the phone, input that. And then you can categorize them into, are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Are they a friend? If you have your own categories, stay organized and tap on that plus sign where you're able to have different fields. If you don't want to use one anymore, you can remove it and replace it with something else. Right, whatever makes sense for you and your business, tap on save and categorize, right? Aside from that, you can input their home address or their main address or location. This is a great option if you at any time want to send them snail mail, Christmas cards. You want to make sure to keep this in order and do your due diligence to add that home information. You also have your notes, so you can add any additional information about your customers so you are up to date with what they're doing. Then tap on save to add a new client. When you add a new client, you're going to have access to a lot of information, which is initially their name, their email, any category that you've put them in, the auto emails you've sent them, saved searches, the last time you've used them, the last time they went into their portal, if you have carded anything for them, if they've left you notes, if they've favorited anything, or if they've deleted anything. They also have a reference number that's available. So if you click on the name, it's going to expand that menu and you're going to have your discovery planner. And this is going to be basically a step-by-step planner of the process of your customer, whether they are buying or selling. And then your OneHome portal will ask them a few questions before they get started, and that's going to be accessible to you. So this customer wants a newer home with a yard. They like the open concept. They also would like a driveway or a garage to park their car. They want a smart home or they like smart features. They also like a green home, but it's not a top priority. They don't mind being close to their neighbors. They're really looking forward to maybe additional storage space and some outside features like a pool and a patio. These are asked on behalf of OneHome and your portal to help you better kind of customize that search. You're also able to see the last time they visited the portal. So quite a lot that they're able to do. So you want to have access to what it is that they're doing, right? And you can do that by receiving notifications to your cell phone. Moving into the OneHome searches here, you can see if they've actually searched anything as well. From up here, you can see their 4 favorites, right? And you can see their notes. But that would require you to get on matrix and do this search where you can take a shortcut, go into your settings, scroll down, click on your portal notification settings, and select the activity that you want to get notified on and figure out how it is that you'd want to receive it. Do you want to receive it as soon as it happens to your email, as soon as it happens to your cell phone as a text, or do you want to be notified of the activity once a day in a summary in an email? I have personally selected to be notified by text if they visit their portal, if they add a note, or if they visit the portal for the first time, only because that's very important to me. You can review all of the other ones, decide how you'd like to receive it. If you want to tag or receive those text messages, the first step you want to do is click here to edit your cell phone information, input your cell phone, select your cell phone provider, and then give it a few minutes because you're going to click on send me a verification code. It can take a few minutes. It can take a little while, but you'll receive a text message from this number or this mailer. And it's going to be like a 4-digit code. You'll input it and then sync your cell phone number to Matrix, right? So now that we are all kind of set up here, I'm hoping that a great option that you guys can do is go back into your contacts, add yourselves so that when you're sending out notifications and emails, you initially send it to yourself. You'll be your first customer and see kind of the experience that they receive. Let's go into our search and do some practice searches. I'm going to select a RE1, RE2 as my first option. I'm going to select an active property that's a single family. I'm also going to tap on single so I don't get any mobile homes. And I'm going to select a place where it's located. So I'm going to do the city of Hollywood. I'm going to select it when it's dark blue. That means that I have selected it. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to do some pricing. So I'm going to look for a property that's under 500,000. And as you can see, any property that's under 500,000, what I did to do that was I added a minus sign. You also want to keep an eye on your matches. On the bottom left-hand corner, I have 104 properties that are under 500,000 that are a single family home inside the city of Hollywood. Aside from that, you can also use a plus sign, and that's going to tell the system, show me all of the properties that are more than 500,000 in the system. You can also create a range by using the minus sign and then another figure. So show me all of the properties that are between 500,000 and 750,000, and you can see your matches towards the bottom. You can do the same minus, plus, and range option using your bedrooms, your baths, and your square feet. So I'm going to do total bedrooms. I'm looking for 3 bedrooms. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to look at my results, and I have 53. If I'm looking for 3 or more bedrooms, I now have 73, still under 500,000. So 3+ is a great idea. You might be able to access an additional room still in budget with your customer. You have your 2 bedrooms, and I have 57 matches. I'm just going to add that plus just in case. And we're still at the same, but this is a great way that you can avoid missing any additional property. Now, as I did go ahead and select some features, let's see, garage spaces. Okay, so aside from that, looking at these features, I want to explain to you what you're looking at. Initially, on the left-hand side, this is the status and property type, right? You also have waterfront information here, and then you divide RE1 and RE2 regarding the pool. So RE2 is anything but the single family home. So that's your townhome, your villa, et cetera, because it has to do with the community pool. The RE1 pool is the single family private pool. You have waterfront information, style, amenities. This is RE2, so this is for a association or a community, not the specific home. And then in the middle, it's all associated with where is the property located. So different ways that you can find the property based on where it's located. County, area, municipal code, which we know where to find these 2 maps, zip codes, sections, and parcels, which make up the folio number, the property ID. You can also search by development name. Complex name is also available. So complex, more common for a building. Development name or subdivision name or number is more with neighborhood. And on the right-hand side is basically what your customer needs, right? So how much does it cost? How many bedrooms, how many baths, how many half baths? When was it built? What is the square feet on that property? If there is an additional option when you are searching something special, like we talked about, like the fence, you can use additional fields under add remove. These are some that I've included, REOs. So I want to make sure that it's not a foreclosure sometimes if that's not what I'm looking for. HOPA is another one. So I'm not looking for the Housing for Old Persons Act. So anything 55 and over, I can select whether it's a yes or no. Okay to advertise, we'll talk about in another class. Internet remarks, floor descriptions, exterior features, only because these have to do with all of those outside features people are interested in, including that fence we talked about. To add something additional, you click on add remove and you find the fields of what it is that your customer is looking for, something additional, for example. So let's say they're interested in not only the association fee, but when is it that it's paid for? So you can add this and then you can click on back. So you can always go back, scroll down and fill these out because now they are part of your search, right? Until you decide to remove them. I'm going to click on results to access these properties. My criteria, my map, and my results, they all work seamlessly together. My criteria is available to see inside of my map. For a more visual, we do go over this in 201, and then you have your result grid. From here, I can select, and as I select the menu items towards the bottom, they open up. So as I select them, I can decide whether I want to refine. So by clicking on refine, I can decide to narrow or discard property. If I click on narrow, what will happen is the only properties that I've selected will be available on my screen to manage. If I want to go back to my original, I tap on original results. I also have the option to discard. So whatever is selected will be removed from my initial search. If I want to get it back, I simply click on undiscard. You also have the ability to sort, but I like to sort using the titles. It's a little easier. You also have the ability to save a search. So if I click on save, I'm looking for a single family home under 500,000 with three to more bedrooms in the Hollywood area with a parking garage. So to save this search and skip creating all that criteria, I can simply click on new save search. I can give it a name. I can even assign it to a customer. I have my contacts towards the bottom. I can find my contacts and I can simply click on save. You see the criteria here? That's what's being saved. So anytime I pull it, any new fresh properties that fit this criteria will be available for me. So I'm going to click on save. And we know that if I go back into Matrix, here are my saved searches. I can simply click on save searches and from here, sort them, my last run. And here is Hollywood, Fort Connie. I can do the drop down and I have the ability to either change my settings, change the criterias, but more than likely, I just want to see the results. So I would tap on results and I have access to them again. I can also see if I've ever mailed something to my customer. Now, how is it that we can mail something? I can simply tap on what I want to mail or send through email, and I have the option to email it. So I'm going to tap on email. This is my customer's name. I can also carbon copy someone else. You can also create a new contact from here. We have the ability to add our subject. You have the ability to add a body, verifying your information. You can edit your signature if you want, and then you can send it. So I want to send you the option, or I want to show you an example. So I'm going to email it to myself. I'm going to be the customer in this case, and then I'm going to scroll down and send. And just like that, that email was sent over to our customer. Easy as pie. You'll have that information under your contacts and under your emails of what you've done. Aside from that, you can print the information. So we did learn how to email. You can always click on print. And as I click on print, it's going to give me different flyers that I can print and different views of properties. If you want to send it to a customer, you have the ability to use the client ones. We always let you know about the client ones only because the other agent's information is not going to be listed on them, right? So let's preview these. This is the multi-view where you're able to see multiple properties on one page. I love this page when I'm doing a showing where they're able to kind of input their little notes of how they feel about these properties, only because after a while things start to blend. So you want to be able to have them kind of give you some insight as they go through those properties. You also have the 8-photo flyer, which is a big favorite in our community. As realtors, we like to use the 8-photo flyer. So this is available in the most popular. And then you also have your full view, which is great. So this is great to add to any of your maybe showing presentations, but you want to make sure to have the full view and the client view for your customer because the information of the other agent is not listed, but you want to have the full view as well for yourself during a showing. So if you have any questions, you can always contact the agent. So these are some examples that you can either print out as a PDF or you can print them here or send them as an email, right? So I'm going to click on back to results. We've talked about sending out that email, sending out or how to print certain flyers. I did want to show you, you can always update your criteria. Tapping on criteria, you can go back and modify that. You also can go back into results and click on each of the MLS numbers, and it's going to give you access to preview all of the information. And as I preview and work through all of the information, and I want to go back to my single line request or my single line of all the properties, you click here, agent single line. Okay. To move through them, you can also click to see how many per page. You can also use the next button to move through the different properties. You'll have access to the initial photos, right? How many are listed, single family initial information regarding the property, location information, general info about the property, remarks that are available, the rooms and details, additional information, and financial info, including how it is that your customer can purchase the home, agent and office information so that you can contact, and as well as compensation for you as an agent. I want to go into my email to show you the OneHome portal. Let me just go ahead and pull that up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sent myself an email, and it's going to show the OneHome portal. It's going to have the email or the message that I've sent her. Connie goes to Hollywood. That's what I used. And then it's going to highlight some of those properties that I'm sending her in this search to kind of entice her, right? Like, oh, these look great. And then towards the bottom, they can click to view the listings. It also gives them some instructions, and then some of our own branding is towards the bottom. Then I can click on view listings to have access to them. Without signing in, your customer is going to have access to all of the properties that I've sent them. They can also see them on the map by clicking and pinpointing it. They can grab this little dude and kind of pull him in here to view that information. So if they want to have like a tour of the land before they get there, they can do that right inside your portal. Aside from that, if they want to interact with it, it's going to prompt them to sign in, but they are able to click on the images, right? They can click on the images. They have quite a lot of information here. The address, that it's for sale, that it's still currently active, the price, the estimated monthly cost. People love to see this number. The breakdown of the monthly cost, meaning it's an example of how much money is going towards the mortgage, the property taxes, the home insurance, the HOA fees, and the utilities. This is basically an idea, right? An estimate. They can always come back and input your fee amount, the utility amount, and have kind of a better estimate. But it lets them kind of explore. They can add a note to you. They can compare the properties that they're interested in. They have access to market insight. So when you view it, it's already giving them a neighborhood insight to that area, the median sales price in this area, how many are owner occupied, who's renting, what's the median list price that they can compare towards the initial listing that you're showing them. You also have demographics that are available. You also have that breakdown of demographics that you can look at: age, education, and marital status. As you scroll down, it gives you kind of insight of where these stats came from. You also have a full, easy to view listing where they can view all 15 photos, view the virtual tour, bedrooms, baths, square feet, and how many days it's been on the market, remarks, and the features. A lot of white space, so it makes it easy to read. Property details as they click down, building and other facts and features if they'd like to preview it. As they scroll down, you'll also get great legal and financial details regarding that property, where it's located, and even the schools in the area are previewed. Any upcoming open houses will also be available here, and it asks your customer, how do you feel about this listing? Is it a favorite or is it not for you? Aside from that, they'll have access to properties that they're interested in renting or buying. They can create their own new search. They also have access to their favorites, and they also have access to a planner, right? And the planner is amazing only because we are very familiar with what it takes to go through the transactions as agents, but they might not be. So this is a great way that it'll talk them through every single part of the process, right? So get to know the process. What are the tasks? What's a typical timeline? What can I do to make sure everything runs smoothly? That's a great article to help you as the agent make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Is there anyone else I'll need to work with for this sale, right? So it gives them a lot of great detail into that process. And sometimes we can forget to kind of walk them through this. So you just sending them into their portal is already doing that for you. Once they create an account, which it's only going to ask them their email address, which you already have, and to create a password only to secure the portal, then they can start interacting with it. So they can like it. After they like things, they can favorite it if they want. They can send you a note because they're interacting between you and your customer. Okay, so I wanted to show you that this is why we linked the account into your cell phone. So all the activity that they're doing, you can actually receive those details. Right. So moving back into Matrix, let's do a quick overview before we wrap it up. We did talk about that menu up at the top and everything that you can access. Now that we went through some of those details, again, I wanted to show you under My Matrix where you can find your contacts and how you can add them, where you can find your saved searches, which we did today, where you can find the emails that we sent out, and also where you can find your listings, any additional information. We talked about your search and all of this menu. We also went into the drop-down menu under your name, and inside of settings, we talked about your branding. So we managed your personal branding and your options. We also went into your portal notifications so that you receive any activity that your customer is doing in OneHome, you'll receive it to your cell phone. We did some practice searches, or we did one practice search. And also, aside from doing our practice search, we broke down our board. We talked about our criteria, our map, and our results. As I scrolled down, we also talked about additional fields on how we can add them in. Right before, I did want to show you that we do have recent searches that we can pull. So for example, we talked about the Hollywood searches. We talked about viewing the properties, going back into your result grid, and we also talked about your menu towards the bottom. We talked about how you can refine a search using the narrow and discard button. We also talked about how you can save a search for your customer. Aside from that, we also took some actions like emailing and printing. And that, my friends, is actually the end of Matrix 101. I hope that you enjoyed it. We went into a lot of detail regarding the OneHome portal and how to access your contact information. I left you with a little bit of homework to create your own branding. I hope you guys can circle back and do it. I also talked about adding yourselves as your own customer and going through those motions. In 201, we go into a lot of detail about that map search and all you can do. We also do another save search, which means we can actually save a customer to a specific criteria and let the system do an automated email for you. So thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you so much for Monday morning, right after Thanksgiving, just coming on board and watching a class with us. Thank you, Connie. I saw that she gave so much great insight inside of the chat. And I hope you guys can be with me for 201. I'm looking forward to it. But again, everything's recorded and available. We have that Matrix X with OneHome link. You can see everything loaded already from your Miami trainers. And you also have it available inside of that YouTube channel, right? So bye, guys. Have a wonderful holiday, and we will see you soon.